Yeah, MLB Data Warehouse, where the spreadsheets flow and the takes get spicy. John, Tim, Doc, let's go. Welcome to the warehouse, stat stacked to the ceilings. Exit below, flying launch angles, got a feeling. Tim in the corner with the prospect report, reading fan graphs, blurbs like it's soft core sport. Junior and double A, Tim's losing.
Welcome to the Prospect Warehouse Podcast. This is your host, Tim Kanak. You can find me on X at Fantasy Ace Ball. And we got my boy, John at John PGH, John Anderson with us, the Hefe of the show. And I missed the beat, man. It's been a couple weeks. I did pre-recorded episodes last week, so it was like I wasn't even here. And then before that, I did pre-recorded episodes solo, so it was like, I miss you guys. You texted us the other day that you missed us, except for Owen. And Owen was like, what?
Yeah, maybe that's what caused the fact that he won't be here very often. But you can't miss somebody that you don't know. Okay, like it's like how you have to have so many innings or at bats to qualify. Like Owen's just not DNQ. It's nothing against him. He just didn't qualify for the status of possibly being missed. But yeah, I guess we didn't really have a lot to talk about. We got through everything we wanted to, and then minor league baseball takes an extra week to get really going, and then even then, like we'll see today, what are you going to talk about one weekend of stuff? So whatever, it was a good time for a little bit of a downtime, but MLB Data Warehouse is up and rolling. In-season stuff is going. It's been hectic to get it all going, but I'm in a good place. So now we talk about baseball as the games happen.
Yeah, so I mentioned in an X post last night that in case anybody is wondering, hey, we're done with the offseason stuff, what can I expect from the Prospect Warehouse podcast as we get into the season? Anyone who has listened to my podcast in the past knows that I usually in season, I'm doing one weekly episode where I give my T10s, which are the top 10 prospects each week that I like. And before I was doing written articles with Fantasy Pros. So now my written articles are going to be at MLB Data Warehouse. So you have to be a subscriber there to get the full article. But basically, I'm going to give you more prospects every week than the 10. So if you want all the good prospects for the week, all the trending prospects, you have to subscribe to MLB Data Warehouse. Otherwise, you're just going to only get the top 10, and you might miss out on some dudes. But you're going to get that episode every week from some combination of John and maybe Owen when he can make it onto the podcast with me doing T10s. And then we've got Doc's Dynasty Hour, which is our new show. And I definitely geared our show sheet into being very Western focused. Doc's going to be giving you a magnificent 7 for Dynasty buys every week. We each have a Huckleberry of the week. We got a Yellow Belly of the week. We got a Mexican standoff that we're going to have at every podcast where you got a Mexican. If you don't know what a Mexican standoff is, that's in like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, where they all have their guns pointed at each other. So yeah, that's what we're doing. It's gonna be awesome. I'm looking forward to that. I know Doc's gonna lean hard into it, so you'll probably get some cowboy stuff from Doc. But John, are you excited for these podcasts each week?
Yeah, I had never. You mentioned before that you guys on your podcast last year had talked about Cam Schlittler in April, and that's the one like shortcoming for me of being a fantasy baseball dude. Like you usually don't know about the prospects, so I will this year. Certainly I'll be participating in as many as possible. And then the tools where I come in is we have all this data now, even more so than in the past. We have StatCast data. I guess we haven't seen it yet for AA, single A, but in theory it'll be there. It was in spring. So I will have automated stuff. You already know the dashboard if you're an MLB Data Warehouse subscriber, but there's going to be stat reports, all kinds of different stuff. There's just so much you can do with data and with Python, which I can do. So it'll be a big year.
And F scores and updated live in-season F scores.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one. So the idea is
John can press the button anyway.
I'm still thinking once a month, but we'll see. I developed the button, but I've never pushed it in season to see how the update goes. It should work. I built it knowing that it'll be. But anyway, every first of the month, I think we'll target first week of the month. We'll refresh the S scores. We'll save what they currently are, run them again, get the deltas, talk about the guys up and down. That could be fun and enlightening just to see like this guy had a tough month and his F score went like this, and hopefully, find some breakouts or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe even if it's easier, maybe we'll do every 2 weeks then. If it's easier,
yeah.
bi-monthly. But let's see the first one. We'll watch the first one. The first month is like, let's get into the rhythm of things anyway. So what we're going to talk about in this podcast, we have some names. I'm not going to do a full T10. We're basically, because we don't have like a full data set. We only have AAA so far. We haven't had AA, single A, high A yet, and we have major league guys that we're going to talk about in this podcast. But first, I wanted to start this podcast off by reminding everybody about small sample sizes, because I've seen people drop guys. I've seen people add guys.
Hold on, Tim.
Already making decisions off of like less than 1 week of data, John. Like it's just crazy what people are doing right now.
I wish I could get the tweet up. This is the guy. Tim's going to lecture us about small sample sizes. I'm scrolling back. On opening day, he was bragging about his Mike Trout TGFBI pick.
I'm just having fun. You know what, though? I actually screen capped it. Ryan Stanek was like warming up to come into a game in like the second game of the season. And I had 4 leagues in a row within like a 10-minute window where people added Ryan Stanek. Yeah. And I screen capped it. I'm like, let's see how this goes. And then he came in and like blew the save. He like gave up like 4 runs in the 9th or whatever. And I was like, yeah, how do you like that ad? What a waste of money, or what a waste of ad or whatever, or fab. So that was fun.
There you go. It is a joke, I guess. All right, you put the emoji there to show like, okay, I'm being tongue in cheek, but I was appalled by that. I was like, you kidding me, Tim? I know, but. I'm trying to bite my tongue on this Sal Stewart thing. Shout out to you. I got on the Sal Stewart train, and he's not on the list, but maybe we should mention him. But I have him in my home league, and man, he's been my best player. He's looking great.
He's been awesome, and I have him in the MLB Data Warehouse League 30-teamer. And so my boy Richard Sands, who I referenced in that tweet there, he won TGFBI last year. And then at the end of our draft, he threw projections up, and I was in last place.
Okay.
And I was like, if I finish in last place, I will eat my phone. There's no way. It's just because I had so many rookies. And like, if you're just doing that based on the projections, it's like even Fangraphs, for whatever reason, only gave JJ Weatherholt like 380 plate appearances. Like, what are you doing here? The guy's breaking camp. Like, this is silly. But that's projections for you. So small sample sizes. We have to remember that we have to take everything that we're seeing right now within a grain of salt. So I'm going to give you some hitting stabilization rates right now. Strikeout rates for hitters stabilizes in 50 to 60 plate appearances, which is roughly like 10 to 12 games if you're a starter. Walk rate, that will stabilize in 120 plate appearances. So that's a whole month. You need a whole month of games or more, like maybe like 6 weeks for walk rate to stabilize. Contact rates take 100 plate appearances. So if you're like, this guy has a 50% contact rate, or this guy has a 100% contact rate early in the season, doesn't matter. It takes 100 plate appearances. You don't know until early May if someone's contact rate is better or worse than last season.
I think some guys will get to 100, and Zach Neto's at 29 already. So that's 1 week. You can get 25 in a week. So
yeah, leadoff hitters, guys that are hitting 1, 2, 3 in the lineup are going to get it faster than like a guy who's hitting 8th, 9th, whatever, or like platoony guys. So yeah,
it's not to say that it stabilizes. It gets more and more stable. It's not like it's not stable at all, and then all of a sudden it's all the way. So with contact rate, you can like after 50 or so, you can get a little bit of signal from it. I mean, you're not going to see like Kyle Schwarber with a high contact rate in any sample, right? I mean, maybe a 1-game sample or something like that, but yeah, keep going. This is good to know. 100 plate appearances for even that. And even that stuff is contact rate is a per pitch stat, per swing stat, we should say. So it's not even one data point per plate appearance. It's per swing. So, 100 plate appearances is probably what, 400 swings, 300 swings, something like that.
A lot of swings. Yeah. A lot of swings. So exit velocities are 40 balls in play when they stabilize. So that's actually one of the faster ones that stabilizes, 40 balls in play. Obviously, too, you can get exit velocities off of like foul balls and stuff like that. I don't know how how generally that's used in statistics.
I wouldn't do that.
Because they're mishits. They're mishits.
And there's just like really weird ones. I don't know. It's maybe Statcast has fixed it, but I've seen some like 126 mile an hour exit velos, and they're always a foul ball. So I don't. My stats don't. It gets rid of the fouls.
So keep this in mind too. If you're using John's exit velocities, or it's showing exit velocities on ground balls, fly balls, line drives. If you want 40 balls in play to establish exit velocities, that means you more or less want 40 of each of those. So you're probably looking at more like 120 balls in play, which is how many at bats? It's like a third of a season, probably.
Right. But look, I mean, I just pulled it up right now. 90th percentile EV leaders out of the gate, where everybody's got around 15 to 20 balls in play, but it's Stanton, Jordan Alvarez at the top, so they're going to stay there. Number 3, Chase DeLauder. So I don't know.
He just got hurt.
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. I was going to bring that up. He survived his first injury scare. Probably won't survive the second one. It's like a foul ball off his shin.
Yeah, it's sad he already had one. So yeah, 2.5 weeks basically for exit velocities, and it can start to matter. Ground ball, fly ball rate, 80 balls in play. So that's more like early May. ISO is 160 at bats. So that's like late May when ISO starts to matter. Slugging percentage is 310 to 320 at bats. So that's early July. So slugging doesn't even really matter until like almost halfway through the season. OBP, 460 plate appearances for OBP to stabilize. That's July, late July, early August. And then BABIP and batting average, it takes 900 plate appearances for those things to stabilize, which is roughly 1.5 seasons, which is why when we're doing our F scores for Hit Tool, we're trying to like get BABIP out of the equation, and we use career BABIPs as part of the stabilizer on that instead of just, like the last season BABIP or the last like half season BABIP. We're using like the whole career as a stabilizer on that. Because you'll notice that there's guys over their whole career, they'll run lower or higher BABIPs. And a lot of that is dependent upon speed and then like batted balls. Like are they hitting a lot of fly balls, or are they hitting a lot of ground balls? Because those things really can, change someone's BABIP. So for hitters, early on, the things that I would look for hitters, these are the main things that I look for, John. Strikeout minus walk rates. Or like not even rates. Like at this point, you don't even want to look at the rate. Literally just look at strikeout minus walk. And like that's something you want to look at early. Has someone's plate discipline increased? Is it better than it was last season?
Sal Stewart has twice as many walks as strikeouts. The guy is a king.
Yes. The next one you want to look at is hits. Just like straight up hits. Like how many hits does a guy have? Like early season, if I'm adding guys in FAB and NFBC or whatever, that's the category if I'm looking for hitters that I will sort by. Is hits, because number 1, that's telling you who's hot. Number 2, that's telling you who's actually getting at bats and who's actually playing. So just searching by hits is a good way early season to find guys who might be popping. And then walks minus, like we already talked about, strikeout minus walk, but also like bat speed for hitters is like the other one. So like definitely bat speed is something to look at. That's something that stabilizes relatively early. And then exit velocities is coming in like a week or 2. So those are the things early on for hitters that I would look at. Do you have anything else to add to that, John?
No, if you're looking for your fantasy stuff, like playing time is good. There's a lineup tracker on the app. Yep. I added a platoon tracker to that. So if you haven't, you can search by a team and you can see their lineups. You can see their the platoon tracker is actually kind of nice. Maybe I'll share it real quick just to kind of show.
Yeah, show it. Bring up Dylan Beavers because we were going to talk about him later anyway.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, there's 2 rookies I'm down on right now, and one of them is Dylan Beavers, and that's purely because for whatever reason he's not playing every day. He's getting platooned.
It shows that It shows that you're not stubborn and you're willing to, back off of the Beaver man. But this is the lineup tracker. Things don't always look the prettiest. These little tabs kind of don't have a border, but whatever. You can select your team there and updates here. So we got Orioles have played no games against lefties. So this is the team game against lefties. So we don't have a great idea of it yet, but it'll show you how many games has the team played, split those by righties and lefties, and then same thing for the players. So you can see so Dylan Beavers is down
60%
here.
60% start rate.
3 of 5. And we thought that he's a left-handed hitter, right? So we'd be probably even less than that rate against lefties. But I guess we liked Beavers a little bit more than the Orioles did, but plenty of time So.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, in the minors, he was actually good. Like his splits were good against lefties for a lefty hitter. So I didn't really think that was going to be a concern. But obviously, when they brought in Taylor Ward, it's just like they have too many outfielders. Tyler O'Neill will probably get hurt at some point, and it'll, fix itself. But for now, I'm a little bit down on Dylan Beavers.
So yeah, O'Neill's really started every game. No, one. Looks like every game but one. So they had to start him on opening day for the home run, which didn't happen. But he's hit his home run opening day streak ended this year. Sad, but
yes, sad but true. Okay, pitchers. So pitcher statistics for stabilization. Strikeout rates stabilize between 15 to 20 innings. So for a starter, that's roughly 4 starts. So that's when strikeout rates stabilize. For relievers, it's like a third of the season. Swing strike rate is also 15 to 20 innings. So swing strike rate and strikeout rates kind of go hand in hand together on stabilization. So you can look at that. I know John is a proponent of Stuff Plus is most important early in the season, and then later it doesn't really matter as much because you can just use K- walk and swing strike.
Yeah, it's not most important ever, but it's most useful right now.
In very small sample sizes is most useful. Because it's giving you like pitcher movement stuff and whatever. So like early in the season, use Stuff Plus, and 2 weeks, go ahead and start using the swing strike rate and strikeout rates, and you can actually start utilizing part of K- walk rate. Walk rates take longer to stabilize, John. It takes more like 40 innings. So K- walk won't fully stabilize until about mid-May for starters. And for relievers, it's like half a season, really.
Yeah, reliever stats are just, you don't even look at them.
Yeah. Just look at strikeouts, saves, and whip for relievers.
Just like you've made your bed, just lay in it, see what happens. Like, don't try to figure it out in the middle of the season. Like, your relievers are just whatever. But the other with Stuff Plus, like I'm using this MLB Pitch Profiler model because I subscribed. I didn't choose it over Fangraphs for any good reason or whatever. I don't know. I'm guessing one of these models like correlates to actual success a little bit better than others. MLB Pitch Profiler is a pretty big thing. It's like a whole business. So I imagine their model is pretty good. I say that just to say that these guys don't always match up. I mean, I haven't looked at Fangraphs, but like Kyle Harrison, this will be for the waiver podcast, I guess, on Friday. But his Stuff Plus is like crazy high. Kyle Harrison, 4-seamer with a 105, like 106. So not talk about Kyle Harrison, but to make the example of like, this is a use case for Stuff Plus. Like Kyle Harrison might be a breakout pitcher this year for the Brewers. How do we know? He's only made one start. It was a really good start. Does like this Stuff Plus back it up, right? And in this case, it does. So it gives you a little bit more confidence. But again, like not judging anything off of that. We'll see. Give them 3 to 4 starts and reevaluate. But it helps for a little bit. Yeah.
So Stuff Plus actually stabilizes in 80 pitches. So like that's like one start for a starter. For a reliever, that might be like 3 or 4 appearances. But for starters, even though it's in 80 pitches, like I feel like you still want like 3 different days. I would not really trust it until they make like 3 starts, just because like the pitcher might just be really feeling it one day. Right. You know what I mean? You might just be in the zone and just be having a baller day. Like you can't just judge it based on one day, even if they hit the 80 pitch mark. So like, while it definitely stabilizes a lot faster than anything else and it's helpful, like I would still want to see like multiple days. I would want to at least see like, and you want to see them against different lineups too. Like, okay, maybe that, like even though the Stuff Plus doesn't matter, like it's not about results. It's not results oriented. It's like movement oriented. But like, it'll matter if guys are playing against lefties or righties, or like if there's guys that you might like, there's a difference between pitching against Juan Soto and pitching against, Dylan Beavers or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And if
you're going to approach it differently.
If you have a really nasty slider, if your slider has like a 110 Stuff Plus and everything else is at like 90, well, what if you can't really throw the slider against lefties. So, sometimes the splits will actually look different, not because they're throwing worse against the lefty or righty, just because they're not able to use their certain pitch or whatever, because certain pitches only go against one side of the plate. So it can change for that reason. But.
Yep. And then exit velocities against pitchers, which is just showing how hittable a pitcher is being that season, doesn't really stabilize until 60 to 65 innings. So like John said, John always talks about that, like barrel rates against pitchers and like home runs allowed for pitchers is like not very sticky. It's because it takes very long to stabilize and it's kind of park dependent. And there's like a lot of factors that go into it. So it's not very sticky, but there is definitely like an ability to avoid barrels or like late breaking stuff. like we talked about with Parker Meadows a lot this offseason, where there are just certain
Messick,
pitchers where like
sorry.
there's or Messick, yeah. There's
Yeah.
just like certain pitchers where their stuff is like a little trickier to square up than other guys. So something like that, you just don't really get stability until like 60 to 65 innings. So for a reliever, that's a whole season. For a starter, that's like maybe close to half a season at this point.
Yeah.
So pitchers basically just look at stuff plus super early because you don't have enough data. And then about 2 weeks in, you can start using swinging strike rate and strikeout rates. And then walk rates won't stabilize until about the end of the month. So just keep that in mind.
ABS. Will ABS change walk rates or at all?
Yeah, for sure it will.
I kind of don't think so. I think, I mean, we've seen several plate appearances flip, but is it just going to be 50-50 where half of them get flipped from a walk to or away from a walk and half of them to a walk and it'll just even out, or what?
I think it's going to help guys that have better locations in general. So like, I think that guys who are more location dependent, like location plus guys, like Michael McGreevy, for instance, like a guy like that might actually get more strikeouts now for just painting the zone. And then a guy like Blake Snell, who's just like really nasty breaking stuff, like might get less strikeouts just because like the hitter can challenge it, and maybe like a really sick sweeper that fools the ump won't fool the ABS. So I mean, like I don't think it's going to be enough to matter.
Right.
But could it matter by like 10 strikeouts on a season? Maybe, but that's like 1%.
Does it predict?
It might be like a 1 or 2% difference, I think.
And it only matters if you know who it's going to affect ahead of time. For our purposes, like we might be able to look back and say, okay, it had this effect, but we're probably not able right now to say Logan Webb will probably up his strikeout rate. You know, specific examples. I wonder about like the vet. Is there like a do umpires still these days favor the veteran player? Like in theory, you could say, you know, Jacob deGrom gets a plus here or gets actually a minus because a lot of times he would get the benefit of the doubt on the called strike because he's like an established veteran player. But now those will get, you know, the machine won't give any bias there. It probably isn't a real bias there, but that's a thought I had too.
Yeah, I think definitely. I mean, like JJ Weatherholt has a really good. Me as a Cardinals fan, I watched every Cardinals game so far. But JJ Weatherholt is a very good judge of the strike zone. And there's a couple calls that I've seen on him that probably shouldn't have been strikes that they called, but he's like a rookie that just debuted. So, you know,
I guess that'd be pretty easy to check. You could just go look at average like bad call rate against player age, something like that, and see if there's any difference. I would bet there is none, but
yeah. Okay, so we're going to talk about some players now. We're going to bring up some rookies. The first guy that we're going to talk about is Jose Fernandez. This guy came up yesterday and hit 2 home runs. Freaking crazy. Jose Fernandez only played 1 game ever at AAA. So this guy was not even on my radar.
Okay.
Really as like a debut candidate. And last year he was in AA the whole year and he hit 272, 321, 454, which is like okay. That's good for a 98 WRC plus, which is slightly below average. F scores, 101 power, 103 hit, 90 discipline, 100 speed. To me, it looks kind of like a below average player. So he's probably going to get way over added here. Like he looks like okay. Like I don't like he looks like a professional guy, 6'3" shortstop, right? Big dude, mashed in his debut. But this is a guy that's definitely going to get over added based on today. Don't you think?
Yeah. Do you know where was he even in your Cardinals or your Diamondbacks?
Diamondbacks top? No, he was not a top 20.
Yeah.
And Fangraphs, for instance, has him. Fangraphs has him as their number 44 prospect in that organization.
Okay, so forget about it. Don't add Jose Fernandez unless everybody's wrong. All the prospectors are totally wrong, but probably not. I don't think you turn in too many guys that were outside of top 20s into fantasy success stories overnight, at least. So.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have exit velocity data and stuff like that from him last season since he was at AA. Would have been nice to have stuff like that, but we just don't. And all we have is like back of the baseball card stats basically to go off with him. So
112 extra base hit plus is pretty weak. I mean, it's above average minor league power, but
75% contact rate last year, 73.8 is what you have. So it's like, you know.
I don't know. They must have liked him. They bring him up so quick. Did somebody get hurt or what happened?
I don't really know, to be honest with you, because they have Perdomo at short, and Ketel Marte's the second. He's not hurt, so like
Did he play third then?
Maybe Arenado has been so bad that they're like that they brought him up because Arenado has been pretty bad. So
they have him as DH. Did he play DH yesterday? I don't know. Whatever, doesn't matter. Don't worry about Jose Fernandez for now.
Yeah. Okay. Next on the list is going to be JJ Weatherholt versus Kevin McGonigal. We're just going to do a little statistical breakdown between these two guys. Both have had pretty solid debuts thus far. I don't know which one you're bringing up first.
To Weatherholt.
JJ. So Weatherholt's looked pretty good. He hit a home run. He had a walk-off hit. He had a stolen base. So we got his numbers here. 105.4 max EV so far on the year. 86.3 average exit velocity. So under the hood, looking pretty solid. 11% barrel rate is good. 9% walk rate, 13% K rate. So not striking out a lot. Kind of doing exactly what you expect him to do, really. So,
yeah, 49% swing rate. We have pitch count per plate appearance. I think this is about league average. I don't look at that one too often. There's also a fear score here, which will pop up eventually. That is going to like kind of just survey how pitchers are attacking them. Are they getting intentionally walked? Are they seeing a low zone rate? Are they not seeing a lot of fastballs and stuff? So that's kind of interesting to see. But yeah, for now, like we talked about at the beginning, we're focused more on this stuff that has close to stabilized or is halfway there, like the swing rate. So that's about league average, like I said. So he's not aggressive, not too patient, whatever, in that regard. And then his contact rate 73, a little bit of maybe a concern there, but 20 plate appearances in the zone. It's 79% zone contact rate. We're looking for mid 80s at least, I'd say, for zone contact. But if you have power, you can deal with a little bit less of a zone contact rate because you're hitting it more authoritatively when you do get to it. So just a good start, really good first game, right? Hit a home run on opening day. Not the greatest signs and EVs and stuff so far, but yeah, it looks like if nothing else, he's not going to be a dude that struggles so bad that he has to get sent back down.
Yeah, I think the exit velocities are going to increase. In the minors, I think his average was like 90, 92. Like he hits the ball really hard. As someone who's seen him a lot in person. So Kevin McGonigal here is our next hitter with the Tigers. He hasn't hit a home run yet, but he's been getting a ton of hits.
Like I said, Merrill took one away from him.
Yeah. Like I said, though, early hits is like a big thing to look at. So he has 0 home runs, 0 steals. So not super sexy from a roto standpoint, but he is hitting 333 with a 429 on base percentage. So he has the same number of walks and Ks, 4 runs and 5 RBI a little bit already through 5 games. So he is racking up other counting stats. I do expect him to get into more power than speed from McGonigal. So I expect since he did debut, he might hit like 20 to 25 bombs. It is a tough ballpark to hit in. So and he's a rookie. So it's like, okay, maybe he hits like 18 or 20, but I think he can develop into a 25, 30 home run hitter, kind of like Riley Green did. Like it took a couple of years for Riley Green to get to his power there. And even Spencer Torkelson.
Yeah, he's got 3 barrels out of 15 balls in play. So that's a good sign. He can barrel it. Just as many strikeouts as walks. Higher pull has gotten the ball in the air. Both him and Weatherholt have very low ground ball rates, which you like to see. Splits wise, I don't know. Were there concerns with his splits at all? Looks like the Tigers probably only played 1 game against the lefty, but you would think he's in there every day. No
yeah, he's such a good hitter. It doesn't matter. Baseball, America gave him an 80 grade hit tool. I only gave him a 70, but they gave him an 80, and they never give anybody an 80. So,
yeah.
Next guy, Sal Stewart, the king, man. I told you he's going to win Rookie of the Year. Look at this guy. He comes out mashing, hitting 563 on the season. Again, batting average doesn't really matter right now, but he's killing it. 2 home runs too. So, and he's in Great American Small Park, something that you shouldn't forget. Like you said, six walks on the season, and how many strikeouts does he have? Only 3. So,
I think 14% of 22 is. What's 14% of 22?
Yeah, he's three strikeouts and 6 walks. So he's absolutely killing it right now.
422 XBA, 587 expected WOBA. I mean, whatever. It's 22 plate appearances, but he's done everything anybody would have ever wanted him to do.
Look at
And
look at the sweet spot. 54% sweet spot percentage.
yeah,
That's hilarious.
he needed a Great American for his home run last night. I believe his second home run, I think, went into the second row of right center field, which is where the cheap ones come. But yeah, it's gonna get warm eventually, and Cincinnati's a fantastic place to hit. And South Stewart, just being confident that he'll get a bunch of balls in play is half the battle, because that's what you need to do in Cincinnati. 83% zone contact rate, facing Paul Skeens today, so that'll be a bigger challenge than he's ever had in his life, I think. But yes, 72% owned on CBS. That should be 100%.
Yes. Next one I wanted to note is Carson Bench. I think he's sitting for the first time today, actually, because he had started every game despite him having lefty on lefty issues early in the season last year in the minors. He kind of got over that later in the season. But the Mets are very confident in him. So, like, I like that. Even though he's only hitting 176, he has a 200 BABIP. So it's like stuff like this it's small sample size. Things are going to stabilize. But I do like, and I wanted to note that the Mets are sticking with him, and he's been starting pretty much every game. Good EVs so far for Carson Bench. 94.3 average EV with a home run and a couple steals. So I like the fact that he's playing every day, unlike Beavers. So I just wanted to note that Bench is someone that if he's available in leagues, like I would add him.
More strikeouts probably, but he also steals more bases, I think, than McGonigal and Weatherholt, maybe.
Maybe the same as Weatherholt. So
yeah, he definitely has 20 steals in the bag, which is a huge plus in fantasy leagues. So even if he's not hitting for a ton of average or whatever, he can give you some value with steals. So I think he should be maybe not 100% owned, but higher than the 40% he's at right now.
Yeah, last hitter, not a rookie anymore. Surpassed rookie status last year, but we're going to give a shout out to Cole Young here. This is a guy that we've talked about a little bit on the podcast, a guy that we kind of liked as a rebound candidate coming into the year. Hit a homer the other day. Looking pretty good so far. Cole Young, 333, 364, 571 slash so far this year. 111 max EV. You got to love that. That had to be on the home run, right?
I assume so.
Yeah. So Cole Young, we think he's going to get into more power. This is a guy that I've liked for a long time. I've always talked about the fact that he's been young for the age. Like, he's 22 years old. Offhand, who's older, Cole Young or JJ Weatherholt?
Weatherholt.
Yeah, Weatherholt's almost a full year older than Cole Young. So just keep that in mind with Cole Young. The dude is super young still. So, like, there's a lot of growth potential here with a guy like that. He has really good plate skills, really good hit tool. All the way through the minors.
Been hitting 8th or 9th for the Mariners, but get hit his way up that lineup. That whole team is ice cold to start, so maybe if he's the one doing some things for them, he can move up. But I can't probably go too far up. Doubt he's going to end up as a top 4 hitter or something like that, but someone to know.
All right. We got some pitchers we're going to talk about. Chase Burns, number 1. I told y'all that Chase Burns is a freaking ace. Look at this. Look at this game that he had the other day. I'll bring up those pitch metrics. I want to see these beautiful pitch metrics on our Tableau page here. So a 36.8% strikeout rate, a 17.9% swinging strike rate first game. Crazy stuff for Mr. Chase Burns.
But nobody was surprised. Like, he's healthy.
Well, I think people were. There were people down on him. Like, I remember that there was a note that Chase Burns might start in the minors this year, blah, blah, blah. And people were like, yeah, look at that. And then look how good he was. So, look at the fastball slider right there. Fastball was 101 stuff plus on your on yours, a stuff plus 108.7 on the slider. Or is that
that's pitch profiler, actually.
Oh, okay. So pitch profiler stuff plus 108.7 on the slider, 101 on the fastball. So fastball slider, we're just killing it. And the changeup, didn't he throw the curve? I thought he threw the curve the other day too. He didn't throw a curve?
Not according to this.
Oh, okay. Well, even the changeup, 20% swinging strike rate.
I watched the game.
Only got a 92 stuff plus.
It was nasty. He was dominant. I mean, the Pirates are Pirates are kind of a pushover, but his only problem is going to be maybe home runs. We've talked about this a lot. 4-seamers and sliders get hit in the air. Not a great formula in Cincinnati, but also he was wild. 41% ball rate's very high, but that hasn't been a problem for him in the past. So, I traded Emmett Sheehan for him. I guess you would have not done that. Or sorry, reverse. I traded him for Emmett Sheehan.
For Emmett Sheehan. Oof.
Yeah.
That's redraft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably would do that in a redraft. It's close.
It looks stupid
Close
now.
enough that yeah, I feel like Sheehan's a little bit more trustworthy. But
I just was
Dynasty, I would
scared.
definitely not do that.
I was scared of the of this elbow stuff. Maybe I shouldn't have been, but who knows, man? It's one start. I was getting victory lap to the guy I traded. You know, he was doing his thing. I let him go. And when if the elbow falls apart for Burns, like I will I will bite my tongue. I will not, when your brother, when someone hits you in the cheek, turn the other cheek or whatever. That's what I'm ready to do. But yeah, well, all the best for Chase Burns. I'm not hoping that he gets hurt. Hope he has a good season. Just not against the Pirates again, hopefully.
Yep. Another pitcher you should be up on is Connolly Early. Connolly Early, there's a lot of fear that he was going to start the season in the minors. Won the rotation job just like he should have. Like I had been saying all offseason, that he should be in the rotation and Johan Oviedo should be in the pen. And that's exactly what happened. So Tim Nostratimus, whatever you want to call me, got this one right. Connolly Early, just so dominant across his whole arsenal. Like I've said it before, like the sweeper is like his best pitch, like statistically was his best pitch by your metrics last year. And why did he only throw 3 here? Look at that. Even the stuff plus 104.6 on Pitch Profiler stuff plus. He only throws it 3 times. I'm going to see him throw that pitch more. And I think he can increase the K rate if he does, but he has so many pitches and he's just a really good pitcher. More than a thrower. Like you might just call Chase Burns a thrower. Connolly Early is a pitcher, right? This guy has 6 pitches. Mixes his stuff in really well, just super efficient and kind of like, I don't know, he pitches, I feel like, beyond his years. You know what I mean? He reminds me of like an old Braves pitcher where he's just being like really smart about what pitches he throws when. So like Early's just a really smart pitcher.
It looks like the sweeper who used 14% of the time against lefties, I think there's only one lefty in that lineup, which, maybe that'll just be the case. Team stack righties against lefties, but he only threw 14 pitches to a left-handed hitter in that game. So that explains some of the lower sweeper usage. That's a really good pitch when you have the platoon advantage. But everything looks real good for him. And I think the Red Sox just knew. I think they knew what they were going to do all along. They just didn't want to like tell Oviedo right away, like they wanted the full competition or whatever to shake out. But they did the logical thing.
Yeah, exactly. Last up pitcher we're going to talk about is Didier Fuentes, our homie. He was so good that they sent him down to stretch him out as a starter. Basically, they're like, "Oh, you're a 2-pitch guy. We're going to have to start you in the pen." And then he was in 4 innings. He was so dominant that they decided, "Okay, we're going to send you to AAA and start stretching you out as a starter now because we don't want to wait for this."
Yeah, I mean, their hand got forced a little bit. What are they down to? I mean, Strider started on the IL. We haven't talked since that happened. So it's like Chris Sale. Man, I mean, here, let's get the names that have made a start for the Braves so far. Chris Sale's made 2. Other than that, it's been Bryce Elder, Ronaldo Lopez, Grant Holmes, Jose Suarez. Not the worst thing in the world, I guess, but I don't think they envisioned Bryce Elder and Jose Suarez making starts for them in March, which is what happened.
Speaking of which, Raylo was really good. I've been telling everyone all offseason too to buy on Raylo's rebound, and look, he was really good.
I don't think he's good, but we'll see.
Yeah, he's good for value, man. He's free in a lot of leagues. This guy's pretty good. I think even in our 30 teamer, I got him for like $2 million or something like that. So
which is
pretty good value.
20% owned. He'll make another start this weekend, and we'll see. But I think the velo did come back. He's not a high velo guy, but it was like 89 or something in spring, and people were worried, but that was nothing. So.
Yep. So Didier Fuentes looking good. A guy I'm down on, Mick Abel, man. He had such a good spring, looked amazing, and then they pitch him out of the pen. And like he had bad stats, but I kind of attribute that to him coming out of the pen. It's only been 1 appearance so far. And it's like this is a guy who started his whole life, and then all of a sudden you're gonna try to pull him out of the pen. I don't really understand that. I guess if you want something to look forward to on Mick Abel's side, even though he's like a 13 ERA, you don't really care about that this early. 132 stuff plus on the fastball and a 122 stuff plus in general. So like the stuff was still really good. I just think it kind of screwed him up coming out of the pen.
I think they just wanted to get. We see this. A lot of teams do this where you have 2 opening days basically, or 2 off days. In the first 7 days of the season, you'll get 2 off days. You'll get one after whatever opening day you're playing, and then you go home or you play someone else's opening day, and there's always this built-in off day, so the rain, so whatever opening day stuff doesn't get messed up. So I don't think they wanted to sit on Joe Ryan for 7 days rest or whatever. So they just go back, they do a 4-man rotation and go back to the beginning. But you didn't want to leave Mick Abel sit there for 2 weeks or whatever, 12 days without pitching. So they throw him in behind Bailey Ober. It goes terribly. Luckily, hopefully you had him on your fantasy bench. I luckily did. That's always the funny thing. Like, you don't really think about the guys you have in your lineup who aren't probable. And sometimes they'll come in a situation like that. And it could, it's totally random. But I was lucky to have him out because he gave up several earned runs. But yeah, he should. It's not determined yet. The Twins still won't post their probables for this weekend. But I imagine it's his start at home against the Rays either Friday or Saturday.
Even more, hopefully, someone in your league dropped him so you can go pick him up right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't change anything. If you liked McCable last week, this is true for everybody.
Yeah.
Except for an injury. If you liked the guy a week ago, don't change your mind yet.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to give you 5 minor league hitters who were really good this last week or guys to watch, and then 5 minor league pitchers. Number 1 hitter, Charlie Condon, off to a really hot start this spring, this summer. So 4 games played, 2 homers and a steal already. John, you want to bring up his minor league tableau page here? A 112.6 max EV already, 94.4 average EV. So
this year?
Charlie Condon raking right now.
Do you want to look at this year's stuff?
Yeah, bring up this year. Let's just look at this year.
All right.
So Charlie Condon off to a hot start, raking 5 for 14, 18 plate appearances. So he also walked a few times here. So like what Condon's doing. He's been really bad so far in the minors. So it's nice to see someone like this get off to a hot start. Former, number, was he the 2nd or 3rd pick or something in that draft? So
I don't know. I don't know. This guy was he in the majors last year?
Yeah, number 3, third pick. No, he's not in the majors.
Okay.
He's the third overall pick by the Rockies. Everyone thinks the Rockies ruin everybody and can't get anything right. So good to see this guy get off to a hot start to start the season.
Rockies have all these guys. They all these random names come up and down, but they get lost. But that's him. It's PCL grain of salt, 33% K rate, grain of salt, whatever. 18 plate appearances. There's a lot of salt being sprinkled here, which the salad I'm eating could use.
Again, none of these guys, none of their stats really matter. Yeah. But it is good to see some of these guys get off to a hot start.
He's 6'6". That's not going to change. 6'6" is a pretty sticky stat.
Yeah, he's a big boy. Next guy, James Tibbs III. This guy's already been traded twice, John. Yeah. He's drafted by the Giants, traded to the Red Sox, and then the Red Sox trade him to the Dodgers. So this guy's been traded twice, which is like, how come nobody likes me? Maybe that's why he got off to such a hot start. He just feels like a child who has been like orphaned multiple times and like adopted by multiple families. But 3 home runs already, for one for each dash after his name. 3 home runs, James Tibbs III. So you like that. In 4 games, 3 home runs. This guy's rocking a 360 WRC plus so far.
Even when he didn't hit a homer in game 3, he had 4 hits. He was either 4 for 4 or 4 for 5. Can't tell. But then a week 1 hit game. Or sorry, I'm doing this backwards. This is ordered differently. The game log's on the screen. But sorry, yeah. So then March 29th, he hit 2 bombs, and then the 31st, he hit another one. So see if he can do it again today.
Yeah, we got to turn that upside down. That is confusing.
Yeah.
How sticky, John, is a 107.5 90th EV and a 35% barrel rate?
The barrel rates, the EV might be. I don't know. Like, your 90th percentile is somewhat dependent on where the max is, and the max doesn't change. It's already hit 109, so I don't think you're gonna, but yeah, 30% barrel rate. That'd be nice. That's not even your Aaron Judge.
Yeah. Next guy we're going to talk about, Colt Emerson, signed an 8-year, $95 million extension with the Mariners. So it's very likely that we see him soon. The Mariners' third baseman, I guess, is Brendan Donovan right now, but Donovan can play like a million different positions. So let's go to the Mariners depth chart real quick here. And who do we have on this team? We have Brendan Donovan at third. We've got Cole Young at second. Leo Rivas is the shortstop because J.P. Crawford is hurt. Do you think that we see Colt Emerson return before J.P. Crawford and take up shortstop?
It's your game, man. This is your thing.
I mean,
Extension
it,
has to make. I mean, they have no reason not to now contractually, but
yeah, well, it's either that or they don't trust Luke Rayleigh because Luke Rayleigh's in right field. So maybe you could move Donovan to the outfield and have Colt Emerson play third. Their lineup, like you said, is really cold, but it's kind of set more or less. You got like a nice platoon between Canzone and Ruff Snyder. That's a pretty good platoon. But Rayleigh's also a platoon guy. So I think Colt Emerson, if he can get hot here, he's got off to. I mean, like it's only a few games, so it doesn't really matter. But he did hit a home run the other day. So I think if he gets hot, we could just see him get called up. And it kind of depends. Them signing him to this deal, I don't necessarily think it means that they're like, oh, JP Crawford is hurt for a long time. I think that was on the verge of a call up regardless. He is only 20 years old this year. So keep that in mind. They have time, but I do expect him to be called up sooner rather than later.
would he be like an immediate ad in like a 12-team league or not really?
I think so. I think that when he gets the call, he's going to be an average hitter. He's going to be better in points leagues than in regular roto leagues. He's not going to steal bags, so he might be a little boring in regular leagues because, like, I think as a rookie, he's the type of guy who could come up and hit like 270. If he had a full season, he'd be like 270 with like 22 home runs, 30-something doubles, and like 2 steals or 3 steals. And it's like, yeah, it's okay, but it's not like blow your whole fab budget on, right?
Yeah. Not the skills of a Connor Griffin, but maybe safer.
Yep. Speaking of which, I guess we'll just move to Connor Griffin. Connor Griffin off to a hot start. So a bunch of steals already for Connor Griffin. And
the steals thing has gone away on this dashboard. I gotta figure out what happened there.
Yeah, we gotta get our steals and stolen base rate up there. So a couple steals on the season. 112.9 max EV so far for Connor Griffin. So hitting the ball hard. Scroll down so we can get that 90th in the picture here. So 104.6 90th right there. 22% barrel rate. He's hitting over 400. So, like he's off to a hot start, which is good to see him getting singles and doubles, 3 doubles already, 3 singles, and not just hitting home runs. Cause I feel like this spring it was like home run or bust a little bit with him. So it's kind of nice to just see him getting hits and getting on base and making things happen with the feet.
Will he make it? He'll turn 20 on April 24th. Will he make it?
No, he's not going to get called up until later in the season, I think. So,
oh man, end of April, they got to be thinking about it.
If he stays this hot and like they need a guy and they struggle or something, they have to. I just don't know if I see it until they get the extra year, super 2 year out of him, unless they sign him. So, and they couldn't sign him earlier in the year. Next, Sam Antonacci. This is our last hitter we're going to talk about. Sam Antonacci, big name, had a really big Arizona Fall League. Already 2 home runs and 3 steals on the season. And this guy has a really good plate skills and really good contact skills also. So last year in the minors, an 86.8% contact rate. So you can see here, you got 88.5, 90% zone contact rate here so far this season. Yeah. So really good contact skills. And then also when you mix in some speed and power, I don't think there's that much power here. Like I think he's more of like a 15 homer guy than, anything crazy. So don't get too psyched up about the power, but he is a really good contact hitter. And this dude walks a lot too. So normally his K- walk is about even, but so far he
5 walks, 1 strikeout.
Yeah, exactly. So he's doing really well. Sam Antonacci, name to watch. Let's get to
who does he play for?
The Chicago White Sox.
Okay.
Yeah, they need him, man. There's room for Sam Antonacci on their White Sox right now. And he was really good also in the World Baseball Classic for Team Italy. So don't forget, never forget.
Can we talk about or what? Did you have something next? Go ahead.
Yeah, we got 5 pitchers.
Okay. Murakami.
Okay, Murakami.
He's not a prospect. Yeah. You don't count these guys as prospects, but 32% K rate, 18% walk rate, 18% barrel rate, 3 homers. It was 3 homers in 3 games, right? He's got at least a couple games without a homer. But
3 homers in 5 games now. I told you he's Max Muncy, dude. His batting average is higher than his BABIP.
Yeah, I think he's Joey Gallo.
I don't know. I think he's Max Muncy. I think he's better than Gallo. So
yeah, Gallo is pretty harsh.
Max Muncy.
And he doesn't swing. He's very, very patient, which is good and bad. But pitchers.
Yes. Okay, 5 pitchers. We got number 1 here, Robert Gasser. This is a guy who could be called up soon. Had Tommy John.
Bro, he's on my. I don't have in the 30-team MLB DW league. I don't have a pitcher right now. I can't field a freaking team. I like my fab got messed up. I must have done something wrong. I was gonna pick up an outfielder because I can't start a whole outfield now either. These leagues. So anyway, Robert Gasser, I was depending on him. He was one of my relievers, and he's in the AAA. So tell me that he's coming back.
Yeah, I mean Logan Henderson's also in AAA. The Brewers are weird like that, so we'll see which one comes up first. But Gasser is older, has more pedigree. He's already he has more service time, so it's very possible he's up before Logan Henderson. Even though Logan Henderson also looked really good yesterday, Gasser in 5 2/3, his first start of the season had 11 Ks and 3 walks. So
yeah,
look at that. There's his pitches. Go back. Yeah. Wait. No. Go back to that.
Gosh.
You're on Didier Fuentes right now.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Robert Gasser. Everyone who's listening is like, what are you talking about? If you're watching on YouTube or X, you get it. So go to those pitches. I want to see the pitches.
This scroll thing's a disaster on Tableau.
Okay, there we go. Look at that. He threw his changeup.
I'm sorry. Hold on. I got to go down here, and then I got to scroll over, and then I got to. There we go.
All right. He threw his changeup 18 times, and he had a 22.2% swing strike rate on that changeup. Fastball 14 times, 28.6% swing strike rate on the fastball. That fastball you could see is more of a horizontally moving fastball than a vertical movement one. When you look at the IVB, that's like 14 or 15 inches, so that's kind of like average. But the horizontal movement, 7.7 inches, is pretty good. So he's got a lot of ride to that fastball. But we got a changeup, cutter, fastball, sinker, sweeper arsenal here. So kind of a fun arsenal. Robert Gasser, kind of a forgotten name. Was a top 150 prospect so many years ago before the Tommy John. So put him on your radar, put him on your watch list. If he's available in your leagues, might be worth adding and stashing.
There's going to be, I'm going to try to get AAA, well, all levels, stuff plus, location plus, pitching plus. So just got to find the time to look into that if that's available. And that'll be on here, hopefully. I don't know. I guess probably, I don't know. We'll see. But that's all possible now with all the data, so we can see that kind of stuff.
Yep. Next on the list here is Chase Petty. So Chase Petty, my Scott White Dynasty League team with Raymond Atherton is named after him. Is Chase Petty and the Heartbreakers. So, and he's not even promoted yet. But Chase Petty had a really good spring and a really good start the other day in AAA. So I think he's making a comeback here. In 4 2/3 innings, he had 8 strikeouts and only 1 walk. You could see his pitch mix. That looks like it's still Gasser's. We got to get the Chase Petty one.
That's Petty.
Oh, that's Petty. Okay, look at that. So he also threw his changeup 21 times. Wait, is that Petty?
Yep.
Okay, there's Petty. 22 times. 27.3% swinging strike rate on the change. Or sorry, 38.1% swinging strike rate on the changeup. Yeah, you change it. Slider 27.3% swinging strike rate. Sweeper 25%, which is his new pitch. So that's a brand new pitch that he threw into the arsenal this spring that a lot of people have been talking about. I think I saw Pitch Profiler had like a ridiculous stuff plus on that sweeper. The fastball, which is kind of what got him drafted because of his fastball velocity, because this guy's touching 100 in high school. You can see the fastball, only 7 inches of vertical movement. So you don't really like that. Kind of weird movement profiles on the fastball, but he does throw it hard. So he's going to be leaning a lot on his breakers. The fastball is going to be more like a location setup pitch. You can see he only threw it 5 times. Kind of weird to have 72 pitches with only 5 fastballs, and the rest are breakers or off speed. But he was very successful doing that. So, and very successful this spring doing the same thing.
Here's the
Chase Petty should be on your radar.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty. I thought he was pretty crappy. I thought he Chase Burns made him look like not a very good Chase, but
yeah. Well, he's only 22 years old still, so that's something to remember. That this guy was like a high school guy. So he's been around for a long time, which means that people have prospect fatigue on him, which makes him a very good value, I think, to add right now. Reds rotation is kind of like they might need help. Like they've got right now Rhett Lauder and Chase Burns in that rotation.
Brandon Williamson.
Brandon Williamson. Yeah, exactly. Williamson's in that rotation.
Pound Town last night. It was awesome.
Yeah, Williamson could easily get swapped out for Chase Petty at some point in the future here. So okay. I would keep that name on your radar. Brendan Beck is the next one. So Brendan Beck, Yankees pitcher. He's another older guy, 27 years old. I know everyone loves Elmer Rodriguez Cruz and everybody loves Carlos Agrange, but don't be surprised if Brendan Beck is the guy when they need a pitcher who gets the call up just because he's closer to the majors, 27-year-old, been around a lot longer. And in his first start of the season, in 5 innings, he had 9 strikeouts and 0 walks. So very successful start here for Brendan Beck. You can see pitch profiler, a 110 stuff plus on that splitter. I like a good splitter. So I think we all like a good splitter here at MLB Data Warehouse. So
low velo, 91 four seams.
Yeah, I think he profiles more as like a back end starter, but he's 27, and I feel like that if the Yankees need a guy, he might just be the guy they pop up before they would call up Rodriguez Cruz or Lagrange and start those clocks.
Yeah.
Next is Noah Schultz. So Noah Schultz made a AAA start. He was really bad last year. Actually had a really good first start this year. So that's something that to watch to see if he can keep the command. Because last year he had a 13.8% walk rate, when in previous years he was running like 6%, 5% walk rates. And in this first start, 8% walk rate. So looking pretty good there. 20% swinging strike rate for Noah Schultz. Look at that. Everything besides the four-seamer, which he, like, despite being a huge dude, he's 6'10", 240 pounds. If you're not familiar with Schultz, his four-seamer can get up to 100. You see a 97 is his average velocity, but it just doesn't have good movement profile. Only an 89 stuff plus from Pitch Profiler, because all he's got is a 10.9 IVB. That's pretty bad. that's like really, really bad movement on the four-seamer. But his other stuff was rocking. So change up, slider, curve, all rocking, cutter rocking for Noah Schultz. So
yeah, he's had a
successful start for him.
He's had massive strikeout rates in the past, so keep an eye on that.
Yep. And then this guy, not an official minor leaguer anymore, but we're going to talk about him because he's in the minors. Spencer Arrighetti, actually younger than Brendan Beck, 26 and younger than Robert Gasser still. So 26 years old. Spencer Arrighetti, really, really bad season last year. But it's nice to see him in 4 innings, 0 earned runs, 4 Ks, 2 walks. So just kind of wanted to bring him up here because he had a pretty decent, successful start here. The Astros need pitchers. If Arrighetti can do this a couple times, I think he's back in the rotation pretty soon. So this might be a good stash name, Spencer Arrighetti, for back end of your rotation.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But, you know, deeper leagues, I would, if you can stash Arrighetti in a deeper league, probably a name to watch and stash. Because deeper leagues, if you're in a 20-team plus league, you just want anyone who's pitching, anyone with a soul who can throw a pitch on and get a start is like worth owning.
You're telling me. I'm learning the hard way.
Yep. Okay, that's the podcast. You got anything to add on any of those names, John?
No, I'm starting Colby Thomas right now. He's in the minors. I'm starting Anthony Nunez. He got called up at least, but like, man, this team is so bad. I didn't know what I was doing. Did a terrible job, but whatever. Price you pay. I'm not much of a fantasy baseball. I'm actually terrible at fantasy baseball. So curious that I do what I do here, but yeah, that's it. We'll be back. I'm going to just try to go through. If you're ever free, Tim, we can, my plan is for the podcast, my side of it is to do 2 a week. I was going to go through each team, just like cycle through the teams and just like do it all year. And then you kind of hit everybody. I did the whole National League on Monday. And I was rushing. It's probably too much. I think I'm going to do 1 division at a time, 2 divisions a week, and then just keep doing that cycle. So we're just kind of checking in on everybody. And then me and John Allen do waiver wire stuff on Fridays is the plan. And there'll be an article along with that. So that's my plan. But Tim will be back on Thursday with Doc.
Yep. And then if you want written articles, again, subscribe to MLB Data Warehouse. So go subscribe right now. Tell when you subscribe, say, why am I subscribing? Make sure you put because of Tim. If you're listening for the prospect stuff, if you're listening for the daily stuff and whatever, then don't lie. Don't mess with John's head, please.
A news gong. Connor Griffin and the Pirates are deep into negotiations on a possible extension. So if it's probably if that happens, do they just call him up immediately?
Yeah, why not? Especially if he's hitting this way. Unless he like falls into a giant hole while they're negotiating, then they should for sure.
So do you go pick him up and stash? I don't know. It's a slightly higher reason to stash him now in leagues where he's not, even for redraft.
It's worth it. If he's not owned right now, after hearing that news, just go stash him. It's worth it. Even if it doesn't happen, it's worth holding him for like 2 weeks just to see what happens, in my opinion.
He got taken in the 11th round of my 12-team home league, or my 10-team. His 10-team league, he went like pick 110. It's like it's absurd.
Yeah. I mean, like I've said it before, I'll say it again. You could get Ellie De La Cruz stats from him. Like, don't be surprised if you get like a 250, 260 batting average with like 18 homers and 40 steals or whatever if he comes up in mid-April. So, yeah. All right. That's the podcast. Thanks for checking in. We'll see you next time. Peace out, everybody.
Big Data Warehouse. Yeah, we bring the spree. Prospects, DFS, betting strategy. John's grumpy, Tim scouting like a man possessed. Doc drafting comeback stories better than the rest. But the tools are elite and the content's free. And your fantasy trophy gonna look prestigious. ML.